Hey, did you know that weather radar can show things other than storms, like here in this example? And this is actually something you'll see.
Welcome back, everyone. Absolutely gorgeous sunrise colors are coming in this morning.
Gorgeous sunrise? What planet are we looking at? What happened to the blue skies? Calling this a gorgeous sunrise.
From not only our tower camera shot, but our roof camera, some of our weather network cameras that we utilize every morning. And now we're seeing, as the sun continues to rise, more of these high thin clouds overhead. And these high thin clouds, they're going to be responsible for filtering out our sunshine a little bit. They're also going to help prevent us from getting much warmer than the mid and upper 90s. But still, we're under this excessive heat warning. It'll be just as hot as yesterday.
All right, so let me translate what filtered cloud, filters, sun. We're looking at them. These are chemtrails. These are not contrails. These are not water vapor. These are particulates coming out of the jet exhaust, coming out of the sprayers, coming out of the drones. They also come out of the ships.
Slowdown of your warm up because of the clouds. Clouds will keep us close to 90 at lunch, and then afternoon sunshine combined with the wind is going to push our numbers up 95 to 97 degrees. In addition to that.
Do you see it? Did you see the freaky sky picture with the chemtrails? This is using predictive programming. They're trying to program you that even though it looks like Venus or Mars, that it is normal. Let me tell you, it is not normal. They're trying to program your mind. They're going all the way as far as hiding a normal sunrise. I typed in sunrise in the Google. I'm on images. I scrolled for pages and pages and pages, and I cannot find a normal sky picture of the sun rising. All I see is chemtrails and heavy metal particulates in the sky. They're trying to normalize the aerosols. Nobody's going to know what a normal sunrise is supposed to look like. They're changing the planet. They're terraforming the planet, ladies and gentlemen.
We're going to have the heat index become a big issue, just like we saw yesterday.
So we're heating the atmosphere, percolating storms. Here we go, about 4 o'clock this afternoon, essentially from western North Carolina across northern Georgia, Alabama, southern parts of Tennessee. We will see these storms. And look at this, almost a solid line now develops east of Columbia, probably some type of interaction between the sea breeze and that propagating wave that's pretty much moved all the way down from the upper plains. And then by the time we roll into midnight, remember, we lost the sun. Right? We've lost our driver and we don't have the disturbance anymore. And it only, of course, gets hotter as we work our way through this weekend. So we'll take whatever we can get.
It's as if you're sitting on the moon and you have your, iPhone or your smartphone and you're taking video or pictures. So you need the daylight sun. You can only see this in the daylight sun, opposed to the infrared, which are temperature seeking. At the last frame, look right around here. You'll see some thunderstorms. They're starting to explode right there. You see that turbulent right there? That's an explosive thunderstorm. Those are big thunderstorms. As we pause it, thanks for pausing it. That's an explosive thunderstorms, opposed to just kind of a shield of a cloud. So we could see more of that explosion as we head later today. Yesterday, but I'll tell you, these little suckers right here, those will get you. Those will bring some good winds, some very heavy rain as well, and it's all going to be blowing through. Even down as we look towards Richmond and West Virginia, you won't be able to get out of it either. Lots of moisture, loads of moisture. Anywhere you see the orange, red, we're on the high end of our scale here. That does last. But you can see a little bit of drier air is coming in behind it. Though with some of the heavier downpours, we can have flooding. Two biggest killers when it comes to weather. Heat, no joke, is number one. We'll show you that later. Flooding is number two. So we have both of those here in the Northeast.
So we're heating the atmosphere, percolating storms. Here we go.
All right, guys, welcome in. Hopefully everything is working. Anyway, much love out there. Couldn't make it yesterday. Everybody, we're all got the chemtrail flu, the chemtrail cough, the chemtrail lung. Yeah, had to miss some work. Didn't get to take the trip up to Omaha this week, but maybe next week I'll go up there. Look at Christ Church. They're getting bombarded just like everybody else. And no, it's not a healing chemtrail, ladies and gentlemen. Let's jump into some headlines. Oh, before I jump into the headlines, much love, big thanks out there to Jessica and Rhonda Long. They sent me some awesome art they did and a really good poem. Not going to read it tonight, but much love. Was kick-ass gift there. So let's jump into a few articles and get this party started. Clone tick that can reproduce on its own has drained blood from livestock and threatened humans. We just reported a couple nights ago how they bioengineered Lyme disease and passed it out there. It looks like they're still using biowarfare in different ways. So the clone tick, this thing is really crazy, man. So it seems like a plague of biblical proportions. Swarms of an invasive new bloodthirsty tick has already killed multiple cows in North Carolina and already has the taste for human blood. Man, these mainstream, they love reporting on this shit. The Asian longhorn ticks, otherwise known as clone ticks, are particularly worrisome because they have the ability to reproduce without a mate, and unfortunately, that's not the worst part of them. A fully fed female can spawn as many as 2,000 offspring, spreading various disease to humans such as Passosawin virus, fever, vomiting, seizures. So some more bioengineered bugs, man. They're going everywhere. Brought to you by your favorite alphabet gangs. New study comes out. Smartphones, tablets causing mental health issues in kids as young as 2. Children as young as 2 are developing mental health problems because of these smartphones and tablets, scientists warn. Just an hour a day staring at a screen can be enough to make children more likely to be anxious or depressed. This could be making them less curious, less able to finish tasks, less emotionally stable, and lowering their self-control. That's what they want. They want to be able to control every person on the planet. Where's the best place to start is when they're kids. That's why they're feeding all these kids all these smartphones and tablets. Look, they're in the back of every seat. They're in the cars. They're in the front seat. They're in the back seat. They're the black mirror. They're the scribe mirror. Research shows zombie children spend nearly 5 hours every day gawping at electronic devices. Did you know the Department of Homeland Security did an actual zombie, like a practice run for real zombies? I mean, they spent millions of dollars on this. Oh man, this news just keeps worse and worse every day. Oh yeah, I gotta have the Simpsons predictive programming in there too. Well, it only gets worse from there. Nuclear waste is leaking into the sea on a tropical islands between Australia and Hawaii, where radiation is 1,000 times higher than both Chernobyl and Fukushima. The Marshall Islands were hit with 67 nuclear bombs between 1946 and 1958. The high levels of radiation has caused cancers, diabetes among locals. 50,000 people still live there, and nuclear waste is still leaking into the ocean. You know, the Bible tells you, they're going to kill 1/3 of the ocean. They've already done it. So the group of the islands between Australia and Hawaii have been found to contain deadly levels of radiation 1,000 times higher than toxic sites stricken by nuclear power stations at Chernobyl and Fukushima. The Pacific Ocean were once an idyllic tropical paradise before they were hit with more than 60 nuclear bombs during testing. Locals were forced to flee their homes, and after they were hit with bombs and decades of nuclear waste is now flowing into the water, an HBO documentary, Chernobyl gripped fans with harrowing scenes and the grotesque effects of radiation poisoning. You know, in that movie, the documentary Chernobyl, they didn't tell you the truth of what caused that. The Russian woodpecker, the Hart facility over in Russia is called the Russian woodpecker. That's what caused the Chernobyl disaster. Definitely. And we got the proof of that too. So anyway, man, more, earth damaging news. How about some more? America, Fukushima, California's nuclear power plants built in close proximity to the San Andreas Fault, setting up catastrophic event for the West Coast. Yeah, we've seen these are leaking too, man. You got people out there swimming right next to these damn things. Even non-active nuclear power facilities are vulnerable to earthquakes. Of course they are. Why'd they put these there? It's unbelievable. I'm not going to read all that. Just want to kind of doing the headlines here. Check this out. The Club of Rome Climate Emergency Plan. This don't sound good. Climate change is the most pressing global challenge constituting an external threat to humanity. Oh, existential. Sorry about that. The Club of Rome Emergency Plan set 10 priority actions for all sectors, governments, and in this urgent wake-up call. Here we go with the Agenda 2030, Agenda 2050. They're going to keep talking about these 2 centimeters of warming compared to the 1.5 global is lagging. Al Gore was wrong. It's not heating as fast as they thought, but it's a global emergency. To avoid the future collapse, political and socio-economic systems, urgent leadership is required from the governments. Climate change is no longer a future threat. It's already affecting billions. No, it's not. It's the climate control people. Fossil fuel is not going to start or stop the climate change. One volcano is way worse than all the cars put together on the planet. How many volcanoes have we had blast 50, 60,000 feet this year? Just an unbelievable amount. The earth will heal itself. Climate change is actually climate control. They have their hands on the thermostat. And we go over every day. They're changing the climate. We've had NASA admit to changing the climate. In fact, I might have to play this other clip I got of that. And we might do that here in a minute. The World Health Organization declares Ebola outbreak in Congo an international health emergency. Just another engineered event via the alphabet agencies, the NWOs, and the ABC gangs. And it looks like our forecasts for the heat waves, even in Europe, are right. Everybody is getting cranked up. Yeah, I'm going to continue with my ad blocker. I guess we don't get to look at the lying weather channel. Too bad for them. They don't need no... Everybody should turn them off anyway. So they got more facial apps stealing your information, giving up your personal data by this Russian-made app. This app can make you look older than what you are, but it steals all your information. You're going into a big quantum computer so they can know what your plan is going to be when it all comes down and you start fighting back. The National Farmers Federation welcomes 2 million initiative to ensure farmers against drought. Drought? What the hell you mean drought? We just had thousands. Oh, this is down in Australia. Well, hey, what about the farmers here in America? The farmers that I can't find. The missing farmers. We have 14 states of missing farmers. I've called out tons of times for anybody, a relative, anybody, email me and let me know what FEMA's doing for you. Let us know where you're at. Where are you staying? I still have not got one email at all. I've got one letter from a FEMA agent. So where are all the people? We're still flooded here in Missouri. There's still roads completely underwater. Some parts are dried up. That's why I was hoping to go up to Omaha yesterday, but I couldn't do it. But still, no word on the farmers. I don't know where they are. The mainstream media does not talk about them. They don't, nobody's helping them. No Hollywood, no country music singers are having fundraisers. Nah, it's all about the bullcrap political scene. You got the nutso bags on one side, the nuts on the other side. I mean, it's just crazy, man, what's going on. Chemtrail cough is sweeping the nation again. Death by a respiratory system has skyrocketed. This is an old article, but it's still going on today. That's what I have. That's what my wife has. A mixture of the chemtrails and the Saharan dust just pretty much wiped us out. Here's a good video that I keep forgetting to pull some clips out of this. This is at David Miles on steering these sky rivers, weather modification, and the military implications. This was a good video that when Jim Lee did an interview with him and got a little bit of information out of him. And hopefully we're going to get him on here in a week or two and see what kind of stuff we can get out of him. I want to find out if he is willing to go against the governments. Oh, I was checking out this flight tracker thing, and it was running. I don't know why it's not running now, but yeah, there's tons of these different flight tracking maps that you can find and watch, and you can see even the weather modification planes on here. So let's see if we can click on it, see what it looks like. I forgot to save all these links. Dang it. I'll get these links in sometime tomorrow. If I get time tonight, I will. Yeah, man, they're trapping all these particulates in and making us all sick. I wonder if I could bring in this like I've played this NASA video before. Like I played clips out of it, and there's some parts that I haven't played that I might bring in here. Let's see if I can bring this in here. Hey, thanks out there, Galactic. Much love out there. Let's see if I can bring this clip in here. Now's a good time. I don't have any of the maps up yet. I was trying to keep the stream solid if I could, but so I'm going to try to bring this in. That way I can skip forward and stuff. Let's see if I got it. It's not showing up yet. It should be on top. Alright, this is why ain't it working?
So
Oh. Wow, it's like not working here. Hold on, let me try this again. Let me end that. We'll remove that. Alright, let's try to add this in again. Yeah, I'm detoxing and all that stuff, but man, they got us good this time. It might have been that A10 that buzzed my house the last couple times. They might have dropped some shit on us. I wouldn't doubt it. They don't like what we're doing. Will this one work? No, it won't work. All right, I may not be able to get this in here. See, let me try one more time, because there's some information in here where they pretty much admit to the climate control. They admit that they're creating the climate change. I really want to get this in here. So I want to do a window capture. I wonder if I could just drag it and drop it in here. No, can't do that. All right, hold on, let me try to, I'll add it in a different way. I know I'm wasting time here, but it's got to be done. We got to show the people what's really going on. It's just, yeah, I need to really edit this video a little more, but when you don't have a lot of time, it's hard to get that. Hopefully this is the right one. All right, hopefully it's the right one. Let me bring this one in. I'll fast forward.
So you just mentioned contrails. So how do the contrails affect or have an impact on the climate?
Right. Well, contrails have a huge impact on climate. And so, in fact, some of the recent modeling work that has come out of DLR suggests that contrails today, just the ones that we're able to see up in the sky, maybe today, this week, this month, have a larger impact on Earth's climate than all of the carbon dioxide emitted by aircraft since the first powered airplane flight. So that's a huge effect. And so even as CO2 accumulates, greenhouse gases accumulate in the atmosphere, the impact of these contrails trapping heat and reflecting sunlight back into space is having a huge effect on the Earth's energy balance. And so
that's right, ladies and gentlemen, they're dumping more particles this week than all of the aviation since the very first plane. That's why our skies are so toxic. That's why we're all have a chest infection. That's why we're all sick. That's why all the plants and the trees and the bugs are dying. Let's get into this a little bit deeper.
And I'm interested in understanding how aerosols or particles that are emitted by jet engines in the atmosphere go on to evolve in the atmosphere and then also influence their ability to form the contrails that we see up high in the sky as well as clouds.
So what is this ECLIF, especially ECLIF mission now all about?
Right, and so we're delighted to be working with DLR again. NASA is and DLR have a long partnership in understanding the Earth's atmosphere. And
so let me get this straight. The aerosols and the particles evolve, then they form the contrail. Why do you think they call them a contrail? Because they're conning us to think it is water vapor when they just clearly said that there's a chemical reaction that creates the contrail.
As well as the environmental impacts on aviation. And so what ECLIF and the NASA counterpart NDMAX is trying to understand is as we change the fuel that's being burned in our aircraft, the fleet is transitioning towards blends of biofuels. And so we want to understand how changes in the fuel composition change the particles and gases that are emitted by the engines.
So you just mentioned contrails. So how do the contrails affect or have an impact on the climate?
Right. Well, contrails have a huge impact on climate. And so, in fact, some of the recent modeling work that has come out of DLR suggests that contrails today, just the ones that we're able to see up in the sky, maybe today, this week, this month, have a larger impact on Earth's climate than all of the carbon dioxide emitted by aircraft since the first powered airplane flight. So that's a huge effect. And so even as CO2 accumulates, greenhouse gases accumulate in the atmosphere, the impact of these contrails trapping heat and reflecting sunlight back into space is having a huge effect on the Earth's energy balance. And so we don't understand those processes. We don't understand the processes by which contrails evolve into natural cirrus clouds. And so we're trying to understand that.
Wait, did he just say they don't understand how the contrails turn into real clouds, to cirrus clouds? Are you kidding me?
That link, and that's what this project's all about.
So that we can understand the research better, of what do contrails consist.
Right, so contrails, or condensation trails, are little ice crystals. They're high in the atmosphere, so when we burn jet fuel in these very efficient, highly efficient jet engines, most of the carbon in the fuel is completely combusted.
He's
and
lying.
Carbon dioxide
He's looking
and water.
away. He's
So
stuttering.
just a typical combustion reaction. But a small amount of that, a very tiny amount, maybe 1 part in a million, goes on to form soot particles, the tiny black particles that we see on the ground from
Black
cars and
chemtrails.
buses. And so those tiny soot particles serve as nuclei, or the focal point on which water can condense and form an ice crystal. And so the theory goes, as you reduce the amount of soot produced by the engine, you might reduce the number of ice crystals that form in the contrail. And so we're trying to understand that link, the link between the particles, and then the water vapor condenses on those particles to form the clouds and the contrails.
And that's why you have different mixtures, and also mix the kerosene with alternative fuels.
That's right, yeah. And so we have a fairly good handle on the emissions from traditional petroleum-based fuels. There's been a number of experiments spanning the last several decades. But given concerns about the global energy supply and oil supply, different countries like the European Union and the United States and others are really starting to consider biofuels as an alternative to petroleum-based fuels. And so what we're doing here at NASA and DLR is
You might want to look up what's in biofuels, because it's very toxic too. Kill plants, it can kill bugs, it can drought an area out.
an alternative to petroleum-based fuels. And so what we're doing here at NASA and DLR is we're conducting the fundamental process-based research that we can then hand off to policymakers, and then they can go on and understand how the science and economic choices that they make will affect society.
And we are here right now, live, in the research aircraft. So maybe you can explain a little bit. The ATRA from the DLR flies in the front,
Right.
and the DC-8 in the back.
That's right.
So what is the job of the DC-8?
Right. So the DC-8 is NASA's flying laboratory, and so you can see behind me there's a whole host of people and a bunch of racks with all sorts of instruments measuring the particles and the gases and these contrail and cloud particles. And so I'll give you a tour as we walk through and point out some of the highlights. In addition, we have a intrepid crew of maintainers. You can see they're crowding around in the cockpit up here, working to keep the plane flying so that we can continue doing research every day. And so we've done a number of flights, 4 flights so far. We expect to continue with 5 more flights this next week. And so these are the guys who really make the magic happen to make sure that we can fly every single day. And that's really, really important. Camera's left here is the navigator station. So you can see that this is where they plan the flights. And so this is the navigator station. This person is charting the route, making sure that we have the required clearances, because we're doing things that are non-traditional, where normally a jetliner takes off, it flies a straight line, and then it lands. And we're not doing that. We're flying racetracks, we're flying all around, we're targeting contrails, we're targeting planes. And so that makes a little bit of a headache for our partners at Air Traffic Control, but they're happy to work with us. And so the navigator sort of makes sure that all works.
Don't he know there's an app for that? We just showed you the app that actually tells the chemtrails when to turn on and turn off, and the app also directs the flight paths. That's how they can fly so close without crashing.
What happens up in the air? Just really quick to wrap it up, and then we go back to the stations. Thank you.
Absolutely. So in Germany, there are a number of temporary restricted areas, TRAs, that are reserved by the military, and we, working with DLR, have access to that. And so the ATRA and the DC-8 take off typically around 11 a.m. local time, and then we fly about an hour up to one of the TRAs. And so we have our choice of 4 different...
Breaking news, ladies All right, I couldn't get the mic to unmute. Yeah, I didn't get to edit that. That was part of a show I did earlier. But yeah, man, that's they're admitting right there that they're changing the climate. It's a huge Earth energy balance. They're screwing the balance of the Earth up. That's 100% of the climate change. If you stop the flights, if you stop the chemtrails, the skies would clear up. But that's not going to happen. Even if you stop them, you got these guys out here in the Pacific Ocean. What are we looking at? We're looking at the ships. This is the ship version of the chemtrails. This is even worse. This is the bunker fuel. All these, they start out with the long little skinny line. Here's the ship, and they're dropping the bunker fuel, and it's spreading out. This is the low-level aerosol deployments. We call it the Pandora fog, which is a little different because them are carbon fiber clouds. These are just a bunch of sulfur and heavy metal particulates. And here we can click the layer. Maybe that'll make them stand out a little better. The scope of the weather program out here is just off the charts today. So we're straight out off the coast of Oregon, California. I mean, this is a huge area of the Pacific Ocean. You know what was getting me on that? They said there was the islands. I'll have to find out where them islands are. Oh, okay, so it's going to be in between here is where that's radiation is leaking. And you know, they here over the last couple days here, the aerosol deployments, they're doing little short ones. Like you're looking like this looks really clear until you zoom in. They're spraying right on the coast, man. They're choking out the people here in Santa Cruz. They're creating just tons of nasty particulates. They're trapping in all the carbon dioxide, all the carbon monoxide. And then if you looked, you guys probably can't see until this video processes all the way. Here's a big chemtrail right here, and there's the shadow of the chemtrail. So the spraying operations here the last 2 days are kind of sporadic, but they're there. They're trying to make them hard to spot. Like here's a bunch right here. They're not doing super grids. They're doing selective sprays. You see the spraying all over Utah. All this. I thought these were fires for a minute, and I had to actually zoom in on them. Looks like little spot fires, but you got to click the layers a few times, and you're like, oh, well, shit, there's all the plane tracks. They're everywhere. Goes all the way into Colorado. Look, this looks like fires. There is a fire right here. We can tell the difference between a fire and the aerosols that are being deployed. You just got to click the layers, and you start seeing the lines. See, these have already spread out into what appears to be smoke, but it's not smoke. It's the chemtrails. Serial Brain 2 is wrong. The And We Know channel is wrong. Look at the mass bombardment going on over Florida. There's no such thing as healing chemtrails. I'm not going to let that go. I'm not going to let that go. He said that they're spraying healing chemtrails. That's one of the biggest stabs in the throat to the truth community when you make up shit like that and give everybody false hope that these chemtrails are good for you. And it pisses me off. So I'm going to keep on hammering on that guy because that's total BS. So we're just going to kind of take a look here. Like I said, I don't have any weather maps up. We were looked right there in the beginning of the show. Christchurch, super heavy liner. Look at this liner going across. Change the level, and look what it turned into. I mean, come on. Blasting New Zealand. New Zealand's just getting hammered big time. Both islands. Aerosols being deployed over Australia. They've been getting a lot of the ship tracks here lately, so they're getting the bunker fuel too. We can go up here to yesterday. We missed yesterday's broadcast. Look, there's tons of the ships out here in the Bering Sea. So they were way up north yesterday, and now they're more right in here. There's a few here now, but they've all congregated right off the coast of California and up into the Bering Sea. We got some really strange fires going on over here in Russia. Look at this stuff. They get chemtrails too, like big time, all the time. But look at these weird fires. It looks like they dropped a cluster bomb of fires. You know, they're doing like, it looks like they're doing bombing runs and starting these fires. I went back to yesterday, man. It's the same thing. So yeah, man, weird fires going on. They got the aerosols being deployed even up north. So it's actually really pretty clear up there today. But yeah, man, they're getting waxed. They spray up in the North Pole. They spray in the South Pole. Alaska's completely on fire. They're spraying accelerants all over this place. They're burning Alaska up. You know, we need them to be planting millions of trees. You know that we caused the Dust Bowl, you know, the great drought back when they had the, you know, whatever it was called, the Dust Bowl. That's because they cut all the trees down for the farming, and they cut too many. And it caused the Dust Bowl. They caused the greatest drought in history. Man-made. All this stuff is man-made, man. They think they're gods, but they're not. And then we're just the lab rats. So we got heavy aerosols going on up in Quebec. I mean, just a bombardment going on. Huge spraying operation. This has to be a UN operation up here because it's more planes than even Canada has in that one area. Thanks out there, Kim, and everybody else out there in the super chat and everybody that helps us see the PayPal and sends us stuff. It's maddening, man. It's maddening. And then we wonder why we're all sick. You know, and then you got truther channels out here making some cockamamie shit up to give people false hope. And then now they're not going to get off their ass and do anything. They're going to think, it's still just a conspiracy. We don't need to get up and fight. We don't need to stop it. Well, if you care about the future generations, if you care about your kids, care about your grandkids, then maybe people should start doing something. You've heard the town hall meeting I played about in Arizona. I'm going to play that and upload that video here soon, the whole thing, so people can hear it. Just being crunched on time here lately. Anyway, let me go ahead and bring up some radars. I haven't brought up any radars tonight. Like I said, I was trying to keep this thing hardly any tabs up so that we could try to get through without buffer. And it seems like it's doing all right now. At first, it was really slow, so it's looking good tonight. Yeah, people don't believe it, but man, they're going to have to start believing it. You know, they got to figure it out. Why are they sick? Why are we all sick? Why do we all have lung infections? Hey, thanks out there, Christy. Much love. You know, why are the storms running backwards? Like we show every night the technologies. We show where the spraying operations are. You know, why our forecast is so much more accurate than the mainstream, because we factor in the weather engineering. We called these heat waves, we called these rains, we called the severe weather weeks ago. And it's part of the Raytheon weather plan. You know, that's how it was crazy, man. I watched the Weather Channel today, like off and on as I was doing stuff. And the whole day, they were all, even the local weather stations were all just going crazy. They're saying, yeah, man, this heat, but look at the feels like temperature. Like it was like 93 here today. Humidity was, you know, pretty high, but we had a good wind. But it sounded like it was Armageddon on the local weather, and they just kept saying, It's 93 degrees, but the feels like temperature's 107. Don't go outside. You know, that they scare people, and then they're like stuck to the TV, listen to these yahoos trying to explain, you know, how hot it is. Man, people know how hot it is. It's hot, but it's not like scorched earth hot like they made it sound like today. It was just blowing my mind that they were all going by the feels like temperature. You know, over in like Lawrence, it was like 99 degrees, but they were like, oh, look at the feels like temperature. It's 111. Don't go outside. It was making me, at first I was laughing, and then it was just like driving me nuts. I'm like, what the hell are these people doing? It's that programming. See, they're trying to make everything sound so devastating that you're going to believe in the global, you know, the climate change hoax. And you're not going to dig into what's really doing it. It's an engineered thing, you know. They want to depopulate. They want to make everybody sick. That gives all the big pharma the money. That's why there's a hospital or a 24-hour care unit or a walk-in emergency every block. That's big business. These chemtrails are big business. You know, you got the people making the lithiums and the bariums and the aluminums. Big business. The coal fly ash, the bunker fuel left over, every part of it they're using to mess up the skies. See if we could spot the aerosols here, if I can get this to load up. Yeah, right. Trump don't control the chemtrails. See, that's stupid, man. That's the stupidest thing I ever heard. That's the biggest lie to the truth community ever. Yeah, that's probably the dumbest thing ever. And that guy, that's too bad. I mean, some of his information was okay, but for one thing, you don't use satanic numerology and then promote God stuff, man. The guy's a fake. He's a fraud. You know, that stupid brain too, serial brain too. He just, like I said earlier, he just stabbed the truth community in the throat. He just throat punched all the true researchers on what's really going on with the skies. He just took back a lot of the stuff on trying to expose this stuff. So we got, look at this, look at the aerosols being deployed from California through Nevada, Colorado. We showed them on the worldview map. Man, they're showing up on here like crazy. We'll zoom in on this. I thought he was running the chemtrails. Hell no, he's not. The same freaking people that were doing it before are still doing it. It's not about left or right. It's about the new world order. That's all fake. That's a soap opera. A bunch of crap. I'm going to keep on giving that guy a hard time because, man, that's bullshit. That's the biggest freaking lie on the internet right now. And he's got all them subscribers fooled. All the people he's got fooled. Oh, yeah, now they're going to really slow down the stream because we're talking bad about one of their Satanist plants. Yeah, man, people that's been around, you know, I was born in 66. We've been around. We've seen the real blue skies. This is all called cloud brightening. Look at all these liners coming through. There would not be a cloud in the sky right here if it wasn't for all these synthetic. And then the real thin, this stuff right here, this thin, that's the bunker fuel from the ships. All this low stuff, that's the real toxic bunker fuel operation. Then you got just chemtrails all the way across. Where you at, cereal brain? Sack of shit. Let's check Colorado. Yeah, they're buffering this, man. They don't like when I start ranting. Especially when I'm ranting about a fake truther. You know, too bad, man. I'm going to keep on punching him in the face. What in the hell do we got going on right there? It looks like we have some, look right in here. Is that, hold on here. I'm going to have to bring a different, it almost looks like we have like volcanic stuff coming up out of the ground. And I can't tell if that's in Wyoming. Yeah, that's in Wyoming right there. And there was another spot. There's a couple of weird things going on right here on this map. Like, what was these flumes? But look at all the heavy X's, heavy aerosols being deployed. And if you think these are healing chemtrails, man, I don't know what to tell you. You've been grossly misled. Yeah, that's definitely true, man. It's all about the New World Order. It's all about the depopulation. It's about the eugenics program. That's what this is. It's not only a program to try to make you believe in climate change. It's a eugenics program. It's to make you sick. It's to cause droughts. It's to cause floods. It's always multi-agenda. It's to promote the GMO seed. They want to sell the drought-resistant seeds. They want to sell the flood-resistant seeds. They want you to eat the Franken meat, the fake meat, the Petri meat, the soybean meat, you know. Look at this. This is all fake. This is all fake clouds. Man-made. It makes me sick looking at this stuff. Let's go check the Pacific Ocean. Let's go check the bunker fuel operations, man. It's going to be worse than these chemtrails by far. Let's go ahead and they were right here off the coast of California. We'll see if this gets us out far enough. First we'll play it on the here I'm gonna have to load the 200. Yeah, I got 200 frames. It'll take this a minute to load. Look at that. We can already see these are the chemtrails where my mouse is, and these real thin, smooth looking ones up here, and right here is the bunker fuel. Now I'll be able to change the layers here in a minute. I just want to get we got chemtrails way over here. Just wanted to get a good bead on the whole map. And then let me put it on the microphysics so they stand out a little bit better. Video output still low, still screwing with this Google. Get tired of your crap. I know. I couldn't believe it. You know, and I wouldn't give the guy such a hard time, but then he went on. He went on about it. Like, I almost made a video, and I have the thumbnail, and I may still make that video. But yeah, he went on about it. And just complete lies, man. You know, I wouldn't be so hard if he would have just said the one thing, but no, he keeps going and going on it to make, oh man, it's just part of the deception. All right, let me try to zoom in on this a little better and see if I can pick him up. Yeah, healing 5G technologies. Come on, man. And that guy's got a mega following. All his videos gets, you know, 50 to a couple 100,000 million views, man. It's ridiculous. You know, that's why channels like mine here, look, there's some of the ship tracks, there's the rest. That's why channels like mine will never get millions of viewers. Google won't let us. You know, you got to be a fake, you know, you got to be like MRB 33 or Secure Team 10. That's just half, you know, they give you a bullshit. They don't give you the truth. They won't talk about the real weather problems. You don't get, you know, interviews on ancient aliens by being truthful. Yeah, I'm talking about the And We Know channel, the Serial Brain 2 channel. He made it sound like Trump stopped the chemtrails. He made it sound like, you know, it's a battle between good and evil, but he was saying that they're spraying healing chemtrails now to clean the air. He even went farther, man. He even said that the 5G technology was going to be healing frequencies, man. He's a freaking liar. And then he pushes the Bible stuff, but yet he's using Jewish gematria, man. That's satanic numerology. And MRB 33 is just a freaking liar too. I've tried to confront him so many times about the chemtrail pictures he shows, and he plays it stupid. He will not talk about it, and it hacks me off, man. He's got that big a reach, calls himself a watchman, but he's not doing the watchman. I get sick of this, man. Yeah, I'm out here busting my butt trying to get people awake before it's too late, when all these guys are out here just spewing shit. Yeah, I don't want to give them no more views, any of them. Anyway, guys, so here's the bunker fuel operations I'm circling in the white lines. And, man, this is actually a bigger operation going on than I thought. Let's go ahead and check the earth null real quick. And check the toxic air particulates in the sky. Hey, thanks there, Prepper Mom. Yeah, well, I usually do the weather, you know, update the weather stuff every 2-3 days. Like, we know our 16-day forecast is accurate. Go back to Sunday, watch the 16-day forecast. You can go back from 2 weeks ago, and it'll still be right. I just want to check the ocean wave heights, just see if anything is going on. Kind of weird. Nothing looks too bad. Want to check the sea surface temperatures. Just do a quick look. It's cooling. The ocean is cooling. It's really getting way colder over here. There was a huge swath of the hot water, the light purples, like right there. Over here in the United Arab Emirates, that's where it's really hot. Starting to get a little bit of heat going on. Look at the big heats down here in the Gulf of Mexico, out here off the coast of Florida. You know, the only thing keeping the hurricanes from developing right now is all the dust that's flying over from the Sahara Desert, which we'll get into that here in a minute. Let's check the sea surface temperature anomalies. So, they're melting the Arctic, and I've gone over this before. They're putting a underground train system underneath here. It goes 5 miles into Alaska, 5 miles into Russia. It's going to have 3 gigantic tunnels in there. And it's like the One World Train. Just go back a couple of videos and you'll see the links. But look at all the heat. These are heat anomalies. Either there's some kind of volcanic activity going on underneath the whole upper North Plate, or they're intentionally heating it. Looks like a demon face there off the East Coast. All right, so here we are looking at the carbon monoxide at the surface. And California's let up a little bit. Look, all the nasty carbon monoxide is starting to drift out. It's not building up, at least today. East Coast, you're screwed, but that's where a lot of the chemtrails are keeping it in. You got the fires. Oh, look, that's the fires are all up here in Alaska and Russia on the same side. I mean, they got mega fires going on there in Russia. Like, they're making way for that train. I think the train's already there. I think it's already been built. We're just doing some final stages. Let's check the carbon dioxide. Just a little bit high there in California, a little bit high in the East Coast, but not too bad. And let's check the dust. Oh no, here comes two more monstrosity waves of this toxic Sahara dust. It's going to come all the way over and get us again. I think this is what got me sick. I think between the chemtrails and this dust is what gave my wife and I both a lung infection, and maybe a lot of other people, because it come right up in through the Midwest. I mean, it covered the whole United States. I can only fast forward this a day or two. It's going to be down there in the Leeward Islands. It's going to come up right into the Gulf of Mexico, as far as I can go. I mean, you can go back. This one even looks bigger than the one before. We can go back and watch it hit us. It's gone across 5,000. Look at the concentrations of this stuff. This is 5,000 miles this dust is traveling, and this is thick dust. This is sand. Who knows what kind of viruses are in it? Who knows what kind of ancient, stuff is underneath this dust? What kind of plagues could be in this? Yeah, we should be wearing masks ourselves every time that's right. Look at the stream of this dust that has come across. And yeah, look, see, it hit us like 3 or 4 waves at a time. These are engineered. They have the jet stream stretched out and doing this intentionally. So everybody that has a chest infection, it's from this dust, and then you have the chemtrails trapping it in. So look at that. We just keep getting hit way. Last couple years, we only got hit with this maybe once, and it wasn't nothing like right now. I mean, we're getting just blasted by this stuff. Like, there's not going to be no sand left over there. It's like they're using some kind of weapon to steer the Sahara dust over. That's why we're, when this stuff stops, that's when the hurricanes are going to start. That's why they're trying to develop them. All the hurricanes are developing over here. The very first hurricane to develop, that dust blew it apart. And it's, this is toxic stuff, man. When you put this over on the PM10s, that's what this stuff is. It's going to be pretty nasty. Look at all this. Is some of it just leaving. Anyway, guys, I think we're going to go ahead and call this a show. Yeah, because we're starting to really get buffered out again. Want to thank everybody out there. Thanks again, Rhonda Long and Jessica out there. Thanks for sending us that awesome artwork and killer poem. Check out their channels, because they did a video of it, of the picture and stuff. So anyway, guys, much love. Thanks for helping us out there in the super chat. Everybody that shares this information out. This is more important information than anything them big channels will put out. Anyway, guys, much love. We'll see you tomorrow night, God willing. We're going to play a song called Rise. Turn it up. We're going to have to rise. It doesn't matter whether you want to or not. They're going to bring on a civil war. They're going to bring on something. So be prepared. Armor up. Ammo up. And let's do this. Anyway, guys, much love. Here we go.